Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a cooking video for you guys on how I make my lasagna. I know everybody has their way of doing it, but I have a little spin on mine, so I thought I would share it with you guys. It does make a very large lasagna. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with what I use in my meat sauce. I picked up, and this was on sale today, yay! I got a little over a pound and a quarter of the 80/20 ground beef. So I'm going to be using that. And I know this is going to shock you guys. I'm going to be using maybe 3 of these Parmesan maple pork links. You could use beef pork links. You could use turkey pork links. As long as it's maple. I know it sounds weird, but it really makes the sauce taste very good and very different. It's the hubby's recipe, and I said the same thing at the very beginning. I was like, what? I tried it and I love it. Okay, also we will be using the diced tomatoes, 1 can. And I usually get the petite cut because this is going into a meat sauce. 1 can of tomato paste, and that's a 6-ounce tomato paste. 1 8-ounce tomato sauce, and I do like the Summer Inside brand. You can use whatever brand tomato sauce that you like to cook with. And then I got the 2-pound can as well. So, and we also use a whole small sweet onion, sorry about the glare, and 3 cloves of garlic. I like to use fresh garlic. You guys can use the minced garlic as well. So that's my meat sauce. And I got the oven ready lasagna noodles. I don't always get those, but I picked those up on accident. So for the cheese filling, you're going to need 2 eggs, which I have measured out there. About 3 cups of mozzarella. I do have a 32-ounce container of ricotta cheese. I have how many ounces is this? Because I use the whole thing. This is a 5-ounce of the shaved Parmesan. And I do use cottage cheese in my recipe, and I use the entire 1-pound tub of it. I also season it with a little bit of garlic salt. And that's it. That's the ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and start browning the ground beef. First, I always saute the onions and the garlic together. I sweat them off first, then I add the sausage links, and then I add the ground beef. So I'm going to go ahead and get the sauce started, otherwise this video is going to be way too long, and I will be right back to let you know what the next steps are. Okay, so we're back. After you ground your ground beef and drain your excess oil off, it should look something on the lines of that. And to that, you're going to add your tomato paste first. Let me see if I can figure this out with. So you add your tomato paste. I wish you guys could smell this. The garlic and the onions smell really good. I love using the sweet onions. I know a lot of people prefer using the purple or red onions. But along that, you're going to add your can of diced tomatoes. Don't drain them. You want the sauce or the juice in them. So you're going to add that up, and you're going to mix those together to where it forms a paste around the meat. Now, like I said before, you could use ground turkey. You could use, any kind of ground meat that you like. As far as the breakfast sausage is concerned, I've always used the pork links, but I'm sure you could use the beef. Like I said, we just prefer the maple because it gives it a very unique taste, and everybody in the house likes it. So once you get all this incorporated together and browned and all that, you're going to add all your tomato sauces to it. So there's that one. And then you're going to add your smaller tomato can to that, because you don't want it to be super saucy. You're making a meat sauce. So let me pick you up and show you what the sauce will look like. Sorry guys. So just mix it together, and you're going to let it simmer on low for about 20 minutes. I've added to my meat, I added garlic salt, some Lowry salt, some Italian seasoning. You can pretty much season your meat sauce the way that you like it, but I use a little bit of black pepper, things like that. So we're going to go ahead and put a lid on this and let it simmer, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that you have your sauce simmering, you're going to want to put together your cheese layer. So to that, we're going to open up all of these. You're going to add the full container of the ricotta cheese. And I should have opened it before. There we go. So your ricotta cheese will go in. the whole thing. I know it sounds scary, but trust me on it. This is a very cheesy recipe. By all means, I know it is not healthy. We do not eat it all the time, but it was requested from the family. You're going to do the whole, let me get a spoon, the whole container of the cottage cheese. And it's not really like brand preference. I usually get whatever's on sale because it's a kind of a spendy dish that we make. And then with the Parmesan, I'm going to do half of this with the cheese mixture and half with the topping for the lasagna. Let me get a knife to cut this. Okay, so you're going to put about half into that, and we're going to say reserve the rest for the topping. So go ahead and start incorporating your cheeses together before you add the mozzarella and the egg. You want to make sure everything gets distributed evenly. Okay, so we got that mixed up pretty good. To this, I like to flavor my cheese a little bit so it's not so bland. So I do use a little bit of the Lowry salt. And just a little bit like that. So then to this mixture, you're going to add about 2 cups of the mozzarella cheese. And then the rest we're going to put in the fridge and have it for the top of our lasagna. So before I add the eggs, I'm going to get the mozzarella incorporated. Make sure you get it all mixed up very well. This is one of my kids' favorite dish, the hubby's too. I can make several meals off of this. I can make 2 small dishes and eat one tonight and freeze one. It freezes well. I'm just going to make a great big one so that the kids can have leftovers on Sunday. So to that mixture, I'm going to add the 2 eggs, and what the eggs do is they add it combines it better. I don't know, I'm not a chef, so I don't know the words. I think it's like a thickening agent. It causes it to not be runny. The very first time I ever made lasagna, I didn't add an egg to it. I went to cut it. It was beautiful. I went to cut it and all the cheese oozed out. This helps make it very thick. Okay, so to that I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper. Just a little bit. And some of the Himalayan salt with the garlic. Okay, not too much. Okay, so get that stirred together. And that's how it should look. So there's your cheese mixture. You can add whatever kind of Italian cheeses that you like. This is how we prefer it. So now all I have to do is wait for the meat sauce to simmer, and I will be right back and we will put together our lasagna. Okay guys, so the sauce simmered. I let the sauce simmer for about 30 minutes, so the sauce is done now. I'm going to go ahead and start layering it to let you guys know how I do that. I just take a little bit of the sauce and I do put it on the bottom of the pan just to give it a good coating. So there's your first step with that. You want to have a little bit of meat sauce at the bottom. Get it all to your edges here. Hang on one second, I forgot something. Hang on, be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to run and do something real quick. So once you get your first layer of sauce down, that is when you're going to start putting down your noodles in your first layer. Like I said, I did not mean to get the oven ready noodles, but I'm sure they'll just be fine. I'll just have to overlap them in certain areas, which will be okay. And then I just snap it to fit the pan. I may have to snap it a little bit more. Whoops, and I broke it. And we'll flip it this way so it still covers. Okay, so now that you have your first layer down, you're going to do a cheese layer. So I just put enough to cover the bottom. I did tell you guys this was super cheesy. That's why we only tend to do it once in a while. You could make this a meatless dish if you wanted to. If you had to do gluten-free, you could do lasagna, or not lasagna, but zucchini in place of your lasagna noodles. It's all just a preference, really. So now that you have your first layer of cheese down, you're going to go ahead and go along just like you did with the sauce. Put down your second layer of noodles. Let's see, like so. And then we're going to, ooh, this one's already broke, so we're going to snap this guy right here. And then put them down. And then you're going to put another layer of your meat sauce. And just go ahead and spread it around. Make sure you get it to the edges so that everything gets all the good flavor of the sauce. Now I know some people that will layer the cheese on top of the sauce. I like having separate layers. So I'm going to go ahead, oops, and do one more layer this way. Like so. Oops, I like to have it. There we go. And then we got to cut about an inch or so off. And lay that down. We're going to do some more cheese. I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of the mixture. And then just spread that out evenly. I do put this on a cookie sheet when I bake it in the oven in case any of the juices escape off the top. I usually use a little bit bigger of a pan too, but I lent it out and I haven't gotten it back yet. So we're going to go ahead and fill in all of our layers. Make sure you get it even. And this smells so good. Alright, so now we got that. Okay, we're going to do one more layer, believe it or not. And we're going to take that, and I usually press down a little bit. Get everything incorporated together here. Because the last layer is going to be a little bit of meat sauce and the shredded cheese. Okay, kind of push it down a little bit. Okay, final layer of meat sauce. You just want to do a thin layer on top. And excuse me if you hear any barking, I do have a neighbor with a new puppy. Just go ahead and get that all smoothed out to the edges like so. That way each layer you have something yummy, you know? Sometimes we'll add black olives to it, we'll add some mushrooms to it. Okay, so you make sure all your noodles are covered. And now that you've got all that, it's time to put some cheese. So I'm going to take and mix together the rest of that Parmesan I told you to hang on to. And mix it in with the mozzarella. And this is about 2 cups of mozzarella, 1.5 cups with the Parmesan. And you're just going to cover the entire top of your lasagna. Because who doesn't love cheese? Well, I'm sure there are people, but we're a big cheese family. Get along the edges here. And then you're going to put this in the oven for about 30 minutes on 350. Just till, I like to let the noodles cook a little bit. And you're going to want to let it set for about 10 minutes before you cut into it. So that is how it's going to look now. Let me move everything out of the way. Let me see if I can give you a little bit of a close-up of what we got. That's what it should look like before we go in the oven. So I will see you in about 35 minutes to show you the finished product. Okay, so it's been 35 minutes. We pulled it out of the oven, and this is what it looks like. The cheese to be, you know, golden around the edges. I let it sit for about 10-15 minutes before I serve it. That way it comes out nice and together. It has time to set up. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. Don't forget to be kind, inspire, be inspired, and don't forget to smile. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.